Bonjour! Welcome to another episode of Cuisine Michelle. I'm Michelle. So today I'm going to be trying out two recipes, but this is going to be my dinner is to have both of these together. So I thought I would just put an episode of both my main dish and my side dish here together. So for the main dish, I'm going to be making chicken cotija. And then I'm going to make what on this site says it is Mexican potatoes. Maybe they're Mexican style or Mexican seasoned. I don't know how authentic they are. There's no claims on authenticity here. So I'm going to start out by doing the potatoes recipe. But for all of this, I'll go ahead and give you the ingredients for everything you're going to need here. If you want to make both, you're going to need 1.5 pounds of red potatoes. These have been soaked in some water for about 30 minutes just to get the starch off of them. I actually just kind of rinse them a couple of times and then let them soak after that, and then pat them dry. And then you'll need some canola or vegetable oil, cornstarch, kosher salt, dried oregano. This is actually Mexican oregano, which it just says regular in the recipe, chili powder, ground cumin, ground coriander. I had to grind some that I didn't have any ground already made up, garlic powder, onion powder, cayenne. And for the chicken, we of course need the cotija cheese. We're going to use some, it says you can use Monterey Jack. I'm just using this because I have it on hand, so I'll just use some Mexican blend cheese, tomato sauce, taco seasoning, and chicken breast, which I've already cut up. This is a little over 1 pound. It actually didn't say the weight. It just said 4 chicken breast halves, but I'm not going to make quite that much. So I thought I'd just go by weight about what we need, and it'll probably end up being about half of the original recipe is my guess. This is 2 breasts that are cut up. Anyway, let's get started on making the potatoes first. You're going to need to heat your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. So first thing I'm going to do is to put 1 tablespoon of the oil on the potatoes. And I'm just going to toss them around to try to get them kind of coated with that oil. It's probably pretty good. Make sure. Yep, that seems pretty coated. Then we're going to put together the spice blend. So first thing is 1 tablespoon of the cornstarch, 3/4 of a teaspoon of kosher salt, 3/4 teaspoon of the dried oregano, 1/2 teaspoon of the cumin, 1 teaspoon of chili powder, 1/8 teaspoon of cayenne, 1/4 teaspoon of coriander, 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, and 1/4 teaspoon of the onion powder. So we're just going to give that a good mix together. It's looking pretty good. Okay, once I've got that, I'm going to go ahead and dump that onto the potatoes. And then we'll give them a good toss to coat them. Sometimes that happens. All right, I think they're pretty evenly coated now. So once you have them all coated together like that, then we're going to pour them out onto a baking sheet. Now I went ahead and put parchment on mine so that I could not have the potatoes stick, I hope. I don't like it when the potatoes stick to the sheet. So I'm going to spread these out evenly, and it says we're going to be roasting them for about 35 to 40 minutes. Right, now onto the chicken part. So I've seasoned the chicken breast pieces with just regular salt and pepper. And then here in my pan, I've got, I didn't really measure, it just, it says 1 tablespoon of the canola oil. I just poured some in so that there would be enough that I can have all of the chicken pieces lay in there. So as soon as that's hot enough, we're going to be putting the chicken in. We're going to be making that brown on both sides, and then we'll prepare the sauce and stuff for going into what is going to be a 350-degree Fahrenheit oven. Right, so now what we're going to do, we put the browned chicken breast here in the dish. This is an 8x8 dish, by the way, a glass dish. The original recipe did not indicate a size of dish, so I'm hoping this is correct. It seems like it's a good size for it. And here in my bowl, I've got 8 ounces of tomato sauce. To this, I'm going to add 1/4 ounce of the taco seasoning. And these are modifications from the original recipe because people said in the comments that it had turned out a bit too salty and things like that. So I thought, oh, let's go a little bit easier on a couple of these things and see. To me, this seems like plenty to get that flavor in there. And we're going to pour that over our chicken breasts. Yep, I think that's going to be the right amount. That seems good. That's coating them, so I think we have the right amount for this amount of chicken breasts. But again, we'll find out because I've never made this before. Then we are to sprinkle. For the Cotija cheese, I am only using 2 tablespoons because everybody said to go a lot easier on it. It's a fairly salty cheese. And then 1/4 cup of the Mexican blend cheese, or Monterey Jack if that's what you want to use. I think that looks lovely. I might put just a little bit more. It seems like I kind of didn't get it very much on some spots. So maybe slightly more than 1/4 cup. And then we're going to pop this in the oven. And since I'm using less and I have cut these a little bit thinner, I'm going to see how these are after about 20 minutes. Okay, so here we are at final plating. It smells really good, so I'm pretty excited to try it. And it did, the chicken breasts turned out great. They are definitely done. And so it was only, I might have gone slightly past 20 minutes. And the potatoes, I went the full 40 just to be sure that they were nice and done and crispy. So let's have a taste first. We'll taste the potatoes first since they're over here. Oh, yeah. Potatoes are excellent. Definitely like that. All right, and then I've got to cut a little piece for trying the chicken here. See how this is going to be. Mmm. 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 I really like that. It turned out, and it's not too salty. I definitely think I used the right amount of things. Excuse me for continuing to chew there. But yeah, I think that the amounts that I used are just right. It's not too salty and it has a really nice bounce layer. It's just kind of nice zesty tomato sauce on there with some cheese. So totally recommend trying this. And thank you again for joining me for another episode of Cuisine Michelle. Please keep subscribing and tell your friends to subscribe as well. Still working on getting that 1,000, so if you could be part of that, that would be wonderful. We've almost made it to 800 as of taping of this video, so maybe by the time I actually get it posted, we'll be there, I hope, and maybe way past. Anyway, give it a like and a share, and please leave a comment if you decide to try it, or if you want to try it, or just whatever you think. And we'll see you next time. Au revoir!